Welcome to the first ever The Savior Saves the IWC, my Battleground reaction. And this is going to be different from other Perfect Madness podcasts because this is just me. It's my show. It's the Savior, dropping knowledge on the IWC. I'm here to single-handedly save the IWC and their illogical arguments regarding whatever I feel like needs to be explained. Today we're going to start with Battleground. That happened last night. A great show overall, and if you didn't enjoy it, then you might as well not call yourself a wrestling fan and go stay in the indies or just stop watching altogether, because Battleground was a fun and entertaining show that had something for everybody. Off the bat, Randy Orton vs. Sheamus put on a really good match that I wasn't expecting. Randy Orton is one of the top stars in probably the history of the WWE, but lately he's been irrelevant. Sheamus is just boring. I've never really been a fan of Sheamus, so I wasn't expecting much from this match, but it turned out to be decent, pretty good, entertaining. It was a good pay-per-view match. I'll give it that. Um, with that, I don't think I'm going to run down the whole card. I'll give a few thoughts, but honestly, there's a couple of big key moments I want to address. I am upset that the New Day didn't win the tag titles, but that's because I'm a New Day mark, just because they're very entertaining. And since the Primetime Players won the tag team titles, it seems that those titles have become irrelevant. Hopefully, the tag titles get more showcased on Raw, but otherwise, it's just the same stuff that we've had for years, so I don't know why we would expect anything else. Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns was actually an exciting match. It was a hard-hitting match. A couple of pops from me, like the Bray Wyatt reversing the drop kick that Roman Reigns says from the outside. It looked like a really hard clothesline, and this was exciting all around. But a couple of things I've been feeling with the article, or not with the article, sorry, with the WWE over the past couple years and with this match, is that at times we expect something to happen, and this happens in the main events as well. I know what time the pay-per-view will end, so during the main event, I'm not excited until about around the time I know it's going to end. So maybe about the last 5 minutes of the match, around if you're on the East Coast, about 10:40 is when I'll start getting excited, because I know within about 5 minutes the match might end. So with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, there was rumors going around about Sting possibly interfering, or not even Sting, but just somebody from the Wyatt family interfering. So throughout the match, I'm waiting for that to happen. And that's part of the issue I have with the internet and how they've kind of ruined wrestling, is rumors will happen and we'll get so excited with these rumors and believe these rumors that now we're waiting for them. And then when they don't happen, we complain. And I feel like some of that has happened with this Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt match, because Sting didn't come. A couple people are upset. But in reality, looking at the bigger picture, it's better that Sting didn't come, because now a build for Sting could come. You have a 2-on-1 situation, Harper and Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. He needs help, and then Sting appears to help him, and it makes much more sense. It's a better story, and SummerSlam is more exciting. But overall, that was a great match from those two, and going forward, hopefully this feud will give both of the stars the jump start they need. And that leads me to, let's go into the Divas division. Last week, Jesus and I, on a Perfect Madness podcast, ran through how the segment on Raw that introduced the NXT Divas was completely and utterly ridiculous. There has been no argument that I have seen that has made me change my mind about that segment being good or doing something. It made no sense. But of course, all the IWCs out there are giving it a pass because it's Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky. They're 3 favorite NXT divas because they come from NXT, and that's what the IWC loves. So we'll go ahead and give an illogical pass to these 3 girls. Because why? Because we're the IWC and we do what we want. But it makes no sense. Again, there's Stephanie talking about the Divas division, again acting like a face. When did she become a face? That's what I want to know. At what point did she become a face? Now because she's part of the Divas division, she's going to lead the Divas division. So what happens in an authority angle? Is she going to act like a heel, or is she going to be the face that she's been in the Divas division? It makes no sense. And it's just going to keep going back and forth and just keep being confusing. So one or two things need to happen. Either Stephanie needs to turn complete face with the authority turning face, or she needs to break away from the authority so she can be a face. Or actually 3 things, I guess. She just leave the Diva division alone. Let them handle it. Write a decent story to get the stars over. If creative's not writing a decent story, Stephanie McMahon isn't going to save it. She's not. It's not going to happen. So it makes no sense. Then we have an interview with Team Bad, I guess they're called now. I don't even remember what that thing stands for, but we'll go with Team Snooki because that's what we decided to name them on the podcast last week. So we have Team Snooki, and Sasha Banks has her NXT Women's title, which I'm glad she has it because it shows me that she found it since she didn't have it on Raw. So that's a good thing. Which I guess last week the story was she didn't have it on Raw because of their match on Wednesday night NXT, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Because she would still be the champion. I know that NXT was taped before Raw, so why couldn't she still bring the title out on Raw that was live? And if she happened to drop it, then Charlotte could take over the belt at a later date. So it made no sense why she didn't have it last week on Raw. So she has it during the promo, and I'm like, good, Sasha has her title. But somewhere between the promo and walking out to the ring, which was about 30 seconds, she lost her title again. Now, this doesn't make sense to me because, like we said, if you watch Tough Enough, all the wrestlers were getting on to whatever contestant it was that dropped her title. So why wouldn't you showcase the NXT title? If the NXT division and the women's division is so good, then why don't you showcase it? It made no sense. And what that tells me is that the WWE still doesn't care about the Divas division. Or they know that the IWC is stupid enough to not pick out that thing. That's just mind-boggling, and it's demeaning to everybody that's working down in NXT and the Divas division. Because Kevin Owens brought out the NXT title every single time he stepped out in front of a Raw crowd or a SmackDown crowd or on pay-per-view. He brought the title with him. But because it's the Divas, we'll give them a pass. No, she needs to have the title. So they had a decent match. I predicted in my predicts if there would be a match, Charlotte would win. I wanted it to be a gauntlet and showcase everybody, but we got this triple threat match and Charlotte wins, which is the right move. I feel that with Charlotte's last name, it will be easier to make her the star of the Divas division and make her a face and bring her up because of the legacy of Ric Flair. Not saying that Charlotte needs that, I'm just saying it's easier. And then you have Sasha, who will then be a heel, and she could build off the face of Charlotte. And it will go heel versus face, and these two will rival Trish and Lita of the past. So I think it's good to have Charlotte go over, and the WWE need to just keep building on Charlotte and make her a strong, dominating face. And then eventually we'll have Sasha come up or something, but a face of the division, a new face of the division needs to be established, and I think Charlotte is the way to go right now. So let's go the U.S. title match. John Cena versus Kevin Owens. Everybody was expecting Kevin Owens to win here. Even me. I said in my predicts, I thought he would win. But at the same time, I don't disagree with Cena winning because the U.S. Open challenges can continue. And with that, we get more great matches on Raw, which with Owens, there's no guarantee that a U.S. title, U.S. Open challenge would continue because he is a heel. I don't understand why he would put his title on the line every week. It makes no sense for a heel character, especially his character, unless there was a announcement by the authority that would say from here on out the U.S. title must be defended every week on Raw. But let's get to the match itself, which was an awesome match. It was great. Again, like their previous two encounters, hard hitting. We've seen amazing moves. Cena pulled out more than his 5 moves, which I'll bring that back up later. It was an all around great match. I know a lot of people are complaining about Owens kicking out of the top rope AA, but in my memory, no one has ever kicked out of that AA off the second rope. So that made Owens look strong. Yeah, he kicked out. Okay, so he kicks out. So it makes him look strong. In the match, these two are giving it everything. They have to put everything together, everything on the line to beat each other because that's what's been happening. That's how Owens is going to look strong. But people are complaining about it. And I get that lately a false finish from a finisher has been overused. But the match was entertaining. So why try and go and complain about something when it was already entertaining? There's no reason for it. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Owens was built. He's made a star through this whole feud with Cena. It will be interesting to see where they go forward. And to say he was buried is absolute. It's just absolutely stupid argument. A loss does not mean buried. A loss is a loss. Owens is still going to be popular, hopefully, and Cena will still move on. The problem that I have with Cena opponents is a lot of people just cheer against Cena, but they weren't necessarily rooting for Owens. So it's going to be interesting to see how Owens goes forward, but he wasn't buried at all. He's showcased that he can hang with the face of the company. He's going to be around for a long time. And he was not buried. So that argument is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. With Cena winning, we have the U.S. Open challenges continuing. Cesaro could be entered into the feud. You would have a triple threat match. Depending on what's going on with Ziggler and Rusev, Rusev could be entered into this feud. And we just have a lot going on. Yeah, we could have done that with Owens, but we can leave Cena in there right now and have Rusev, Owens, and Cesaro each vying to make a name for themselves, trying to be the one to beat Cena, the face of the company. So now you could have Owens having to go through Cesaro, having to go through Rusev just to get back to Cena, so that we don't really have to see Owens fight Cena every time, like we have been over the last couple months. So it wasn't bad for Cena to win. People just need to relax and calm down and start looking at the bigger picture. My problem here that I was irritated with last night was people saying Owens was buried. I got into a discussion with somebody on Facebook, and they could not formulate an argument when I brought up everything that Cena has done, all the good matches that Cena has done over the past years. They had a result of personal attacks. When you start resulting in personal attacks, that just shows that you're not smart enough to formulate an argument based on facts. It shows that you don't know what you're talking about and you've just been shown up. To say Cena can't wrestle is an asinine thought that the IWC has come up with. Cena has been the face of the company for over 10 years now. He won his first world title in 2005 at WrestleMania 21. Since then, it's been Cena as a face. He's had great matches with the likes of Kurt Angle, HBK, CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Randy Orton, Edge. And then if you look at recently, it wasn't even big names he's having great matches with. Look at the U.S. Open Challenge. You had Wade Barrett, Stardust, Neville, Sami Zayn, Owens, Cesaro, Rusev. All these people that Cena has put on great matches. The only constant in all of those matches is John Cena. So they're saying that Cena could only have good matches with the right guy. Well, out of all those matches, who is the right guy? The only constant in all of those matches is John Cena. So it was just an asinine, stupid argument from some punk that didn't know what he was talking about. And eventually I just started laughing at him and moved on. And now let's go into the U.S. title match. Or not the U.S. title match, sorry. The World Heavyweight title match. And look at this Seth Rollins shirt. Because you know who's still the champion? That's right, Seth Rollins. And I'm happy about that. I know a lot of you guys are mad and whining and crying because the almighty Brock Lesnar didn't win. But why do we want Brock Lesnar to be the champion? Why? I don't understand how last year when he was a champion, everyone was complaining, oh, he's a part-time champion. He's not there. He needs to be there. The WWE title should be defended all the time. It should be on the show. And now people are saying Brock Lesnar should be champion. Why? Well, I don't get the thought process. I don't get the jump. And if you're saying because Seth Rollins isn't a good champion, I don't like Seth Rollins, well, you've been worked. That's what Seth Rollins wants you to do. Seth Rollins wants you to hate him. Seth Rollins wants you to think that he is a coward champion. He's not a fighting champion. That's his character. And for you to believe it and say Brock Lesnar is a better champion because he'll stand there and fight and he won't run away, you've been worked. That's the bottom line. You've been worked. So Rollins retained, like I said he would, and The Undertaker came back. And this is where a lot of my problems come from, but not necessarily the same way you would think. I called it on Monday, watching Raw, before any rumors of The Undertaker's return came, and I said, wouldn't it be cool if The Undertaker helped Rollins retain at Battleground? For two reasons. One, because The Undertaker could get back at Lesnar for the loss at WrestleMania 30. And two, because Lesnar has just destroyed The Undertaker's brother Kane. I said it on Monday. Yes, it was jokingly, but I still said it. And I gave two reasons for it to happen. The Undertaker comes back. And if you don't pop for The Undertaker, one, you're either too young to realize who the hell The Undertaker is, so you need to go ask mommy and daddy for $9.99 a month, or go mow the lawn, or wash dishes, or do something to earn that $9.99 a month so you can get the WWE Network and you can find out who The Undertaker is. Or two, you just need to stop being a wrestling fan. Just stop watching. Go watch TNA. Go watch ROH. Go just stop watching the WWE altogether. Because if you're not popping for The Undertaker and the gong and the lights going out and him appearing, then there's no hope for you. There's none. So the Undertaker comes back like I said he would, and he attacks Lesnar like I said he would, and Seth Rollins retains his title like I said he would. Yes, when it came back, I questioned where Seth Rollins and the referee took off to. But if I was in the middle of the match and the lights went out and it was the Undertaker's gong, I would get the hell out of the arena too. I would take off. Especially being Rollins' character. So, yeah, we could say, oh, where'd Rollins go? Jokingly, and we say, oh, that didn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. But Rollins took off. It's easy explainable. It's easy to be explained. Just use your head. Stop trying to find things to complain about. Rollins took off. He grabbed his title and he got the hell out of there. He's still the champ. A lot of people are asking why The Undertaker came back. What do you mean why The Undertaker came back? Have you not been watching for the last 2 years? First, Brock Lesnar is the only man to ever beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. There was never a rematch. Ever. And now people are complaining, oh, well, why would The Undertaker want a rematch after Lesnar already beat him? Why did Kevin Owens need a rematch when he lost to Cena? Why did Cena need a rematch when he lost to Kevin Owens? Why did Dean Ambrose need a rematch twice to Seth Rollins? Why do we have rematches? So what sense does that make to say because The Undertaker lost one time at WrestleMania, he shouldn't get a rematch? It makes no sense whatsoever at all to even use that argument. Because now the entire storyline, all storylines of the WWE have just been blown up because rematches shouldn't happen. Because if you beat someone sometime, then that person that you beat can't beat you. And that's pretty much what you guys are saying. Another thing is, people are complaining, like, oh, I don't want to see The Undertaker. I'm tired of The Undertaker. He comes once a year. Well, now we got The Undertaker twice a year, so your once a year argument is invalid. Over the next month, he'll probably be on TV more than Lesnar was in like his first 2 years back. On top of the fact that we'll probably get him at WrestleMania. And you argue about part-timers, but nobody was complaining about The Rock when he came back. The whole IWC wants to cheer, oh, The Rock, The Rock, The Rock. Why? Why does the IWC give certain people passes? Why is the IWC saying that it was illogical for The Undertaker to return when he actually has 2 reasons to return and take out Brock Lesnar? And they say that the segment on Monday that involved Stephanie McMahon and the Divas was amazing. Somebody answer that question for me. The Undertaker returning was very logical. It made a whole lot of sense. And you know what? I'm excited to see Raw tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited to see The Undertaker and Lesnar. I'm excited to see Seth Rollins still as champion. I'm excited to see the US Open Challenge. 3 things. 3 things to have us excited for Raw tonight. When's the last time there was 3 things that made you excited to see Raw? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember when the last time I was excited to see Raw this excited for three things to witness. That means we could have a top moment, an exciting moment in each of the 3 hours of Raw. Not to mention that some of those segments, some of those stories will have multiple segments on the show. So I'm expecting Raw to be really good. So Battleground did its job. Battleground got me excited to go forward. Battleground, a B-level show, has me excited to see what the A show, SummerSlam, is going to be in a month. But to say that Battleground was not that great because Sting didn't appear, well, why should Sting appear? If The Undertaker appearing was illogical, when he has reasons, why should Sting appear? To take out Wyatt, but why? It just made no sense to say Battleground was horrible. The things that people are looking to complain about are ridiculous. People start the show looking to complain. During the kickoff show, they put a commercial in the Wade Barrett R-Truth match. And I seen someone complaining on Twitter about it. Oh, why are they going to put a commercial in the middle of a match on the kickoff show? Have you not watched any kickoff shows before this? They do it every time. Every single time on a kickoff show, they throw a commercial in the middle of it. It's nothing new. Why are you acting surprised by it? Why? And the argument that I hate, the biggest complaint that I hate, oh, the pay-per-view ends 15 minutes before the hour. So if you're on the East Coast, that's at 10:45. On the West Coast, that's at 7:45. Why act surprised and complain about that when pay-per-views have been ending at the 45-minute mark for as long as I can remember? For as long as I can remember, the show has been going off the air at the 45-minute mark. Very rarely would a show on pay-per-view go to the 50-minute mark. It wasn't until recently, with the debut of the WWE Network, so within the last year and a half, have they been pushing the envelope, have they been pushing the time limit to about the 55-minute mark. So the show ending at 7:45 is or 10:45, depending on where you are in the country, is nothing new. But every single time, people are complaining about it. They just complain about it because they're looking for something to complain. Battleground was a great show. It was what the IWC should be wanting. There was great in-ring action. There was very little backstage moments, very little in-ring segments. The matches were all given a decent amount of time. All the matches were fairly entertaining. The Miz on the mic was freaking hilarious. That is a Miz that I love. I used to be a huge Miz mark. He's great on the mic, and Battleground, he brought that back out, which has been missing from him for a while. That was a great segment during the show. I just don't understand how there would be stuff to complain about because there was something there for everybody last night. It's mind-boggling why people would still be complaining about Battleground. I just don't get it. But Raw should be exciting tonight. The coming weeks, the next month of WWE should be exciting. There's a lot to look forward to. We don't know the situation with Seth Rollins and the Authority right now. We don't know what's going to happen with the WWE title at SummerSlam. There's so much stuff to look forward to. Battleground was a great pay-per-view, and if you're not excited, then just stop watching. Just stop. Well, that's all the time that we have today. Thanks for watching my first show of the Savior. Me, Adam Eaton, saves the IWC. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, Perfect Madness Wrestling. Follow us on Facebook, or like us on Facebook, I should say. Facebook.com/Perfect Madness Wrestling. Find us on Twitter at PMW Podcast. We're on Instagram as well, Perfect Madness Wrestling. We're just all over the place. So find us, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, give us your thoughts, your feedback, whatever, whatever you would like to see on any of the social media accounts, whatever you would like us to talk about on a podcast, like to read in an article, let us know. All feedback is welcome. If you don't agree with us, let us know, and we'll have an open debate about it. We don't shy away from people not agreeing with us. We want to interact with you. We want to talk to you guys. So just let us know. Don't be afraid to find us somewhere. And until next time, I am Adam Eaton, the savior of the IWC.